He is risen.
He is risen indeed.
Appreciate it. The rest of you, But I understand. I do. Because I respect how radical that statement is. I mean, at the root of it, it's an absurd statement to affirm that there was an individual throughout human history. This person was actually visibly, physically raised from the dead. And I understand if you say that and you believe that, you can't live the same way. It's a game changer. It's a different kettle of fish. This is a paradigm shift. If you actually believe that there is something beyond this life, there is life after life, that what the resurrection, what this Easter Sunday message represents is that this is not all there is. You cannot possibly live the same way. It has to have an impact. It has to have a change. And so we hedge our bets. We kind of say it under our breath. We kind of believe it. Yeah, I kind of believe in the resurrection. Yeah, sure, indeed. Yeah, I'm with you. But we're pragmatic empiricists. We want to see the data. We want to see the evidence. We want to do the math. We want to know the science. And if you're there, if you're in that place of the doubter, of the cynic, of the skeptic, or just a curiously honest person, I'm right there with you. I know some of you are going, whoa, Dave, you're the man of God. You're the pastor of the church, and you're telling us that you're hedging your bets on this. You're not sure. Yeah, I'm still working it through. I'm still making my way. I'm still trying to figure out how to try to live like I actually believe that that's true. And I don't always get it right. And I know I'm not alone. I know I'm in good company. I know I'm alongside of at least one other person. That person's name is Didymus. Well, his name wasn't Didymus. That's what people called him. Didymus was his nickname. Didymus was the Greek name for twin. His real name was Thomas. But most of us know him not as Thomas or Didymus, but as the other nickname he had, Doubting Thomas. And you and I are in good company if we are the pragmatic imperialist who says, I'm not sure. I need more time. I need more evidence. You see, Thomas wasn't there. Thomas wasn't there when, on that first Easter Sunday, the remaining disciples, the 10 disciples, plus a large group of women disciples, were in a hideout in Jerusalem behind locked doors because they were afraid for their life. Their leader, their one they had followed for 3 years, he was dead. They watched him be executed. And they knew they were next, and they were hiding out. But on that Sunday morning, that first Easter Sunday morning, Thomas wasn't with them. When Mary said, I'm going to go to the tomb. I got to see him one more time. I got to go there. And a number of the other women said, yeah, we'll go with you. And they gathered some spices and some oils to anoint the body. And they needed to work this through. And they knew that they could probably get to the tomb. Because 3 days earlier, when the crucifixion took place, the religious leaders, the Pharisees, went to the Roman governor, Pilate, and said, we're afraid that his followers are going to come and steal his body, because he was talking about this nonsense that he would be raised from the dead in 3 days. So we want you to seal the tomb with a Roman seal, and we want you to put a guard there. And the guard will watch to make sure that his followers can't steal the body. And you just leave him there for 3 days and we'll be good. And Mary knew, okay, the 3 days are up. We'll go. And as they were walking there, their problem wasn't how are we going to overpower the guards? How are we going to get through the Roman seal? The problem was how are we going to move the stone? Because the stone weighed a couple of tons. And even a handful of women weren't going to be strong enough to move it. But Mary said, I'm going to worry about that later. And Thomas wasn't there as the women showed up at the tomb, and the stone had been moved aside. And when they went in, the grave clothes, the things that they had wrapped the body in were laying there, but the body was gone. And so they were in shock, and as they turned, these two angelic beings, these two extraterrestrials in dazzling white, stated the obvious. They said, "He is not here. He is risen." That was your cue, people. We went through this. I kind of do, "He is risen," and you do, yeah, now you show up. I mean, the angel says it. Oh, that's not good enough for us. We're just kind of on our phones ordering lunch from Buca de Beppo. Well, the angel shows up and says, he's not here. He is risen. He is risen. Wow. This is a tough room. So they run back. Mary and the women run back, and they go back to the locked room where the disciples were. They knocked the secret code, said the secret password, and got let in. And they said, "You won't believe it. The body's gone." And there were these angelic guys who said that he's not there. He is risen. Okay, that's enough. We're good. And so Peter and probably James and John said, "We got to see for ourselves." So they go running. They go running to the tomb, and they see that the women were right. It was true. And so they run back and they hide out the rest of that day. And you can imagine what they were thinking. They were thinking, well, what could have happened? What could be going on? Could it be that he was raised from the dead? Could it be what he said? Or maybe the religious leaders came and they stole his body, and they're going to blame us. And they're going to come for us. And they're going to send the Romans after us. So for the rest of that day, they were probably terrified and confused, and they didn't know what was going on. But that evening, when they least expected it, that first Easter Sunday evening, Jesus appeared through a locked door in a corporeal, tangible form. He wasn't a mirage. He wasn't a phantasm. He was physically with them. And they knew it was him because he had the wounds in his hands and the scar on his side, and they could touch it and they could feel it. He was physically there. And Thomas wasn't there when that happened. Thomas wasn't with them. And we don't know where Thomas was. We don't know whether he was smarter. Thomas said, "Hey, why would we hang out in one place? We're wanted criminals. If we all hide out in the same place, they find one of us, they find all of us. Why don't we head for the hills? Why don't we go back to Galilee? Remember that place where we had lunch with Jesus? Those pitas were terrific. Why don't we go back there? We'll meet there." And Thomas was thinking, okay, we're going to split up. But Thomas shows up the next day, the Monday after the resurrection. And he shows up, he knocks and gives the secret code and the secret password, and they let him in, and they're telling him. We went to the tomb was empty, and he's gone. And Thomas says, "Nah, I don't believe you. I'm not buying it. I'm not sure that I can trust your report unless I see for myself the wounds in his hands, unless I can put my finger in the nail marks, unless I can put my hand in the wound in his side. I'm not buying it." Now, why did Thomas doubt like that? Why? Maybe Thomas was so pragmatic. He was such an empiricist that he needed more evidence. Okay, but why did he stay? Because he stayed with the disciples for another 8 days. He hung out with them. He kind of believed, but he didn't really believe. He could have left. He could have said, "You're all kooky. I don't believe you. There's not enough evidence." But he stayed with them for 8 days. And on the 8th day, Jesus shows back up. Same way that he had on the first Easter Sunday, Jesus showed up and was among them. Physically, he was there. He was in the room with them, and he greeted them the same way. He said, "Shalom, peace be with you." But he cuts to the chase and he walks over to Thomas and he says to Thomas the exact words that Thomas had said a week before. "I'll show you the wounds in my hands. You can put your finger in it. And I'll show you the wound in my side, and you can put your hand in it." And so Thomas walks over and he touches him and he sees him. And I like to think that in that moment, he fully believes. And Jesus says to him, "Don't be faithless anymore." He doesn't say, "Don't doubt." He says, "Don't be faithless. Don't let your doubt overpower your faith." Thomas says, "My Lord and my God." And Jesus says, "Blessed are you because you have seen me." But then I like to think that Jesus turns and he faces us. And he says, "Blessed are those who have not seen me and still believe." See, faith is a process. Faith is a journey. Think of faith as a process of overcoming our doubts. The goal is not to eliminate our doubt. The goal is to strengthen our faith so that when doubt is overwhelming, our faith is stronger. Our faith is more reliable than our doubt. It's where I find myself. I find myself with Thomas in this place where I'm constantly re-examining, constantly re-evaluating, constantly reconsidering. It's a pragmatic faith. It's an empiricist faith that says, I want to strengthen my faith because I know doubt is real, but I want my faith to be even stronger so that I'm not overpowered by my doubt. You see, I think it's enough for us to say, I want to believe. I try to believe. All I want to do is I want to live like I say I believe. I just want to try to be the person who believes. And the rest is a journey, it's a process. And we're blessed if we pursue that. It's what we celebrate today. It's why we come together. Because he gave us evidence. And he says it's worth it for you to try to have a faith that is stronger than your doubt. To live what you believe. It's worth it. Because he is risen.